I tried to explain you what is the approximation algorithm, but maybe okay, okay. Yeah. So let me explain you the thing. Uh, so we know that why we design approximation algorithm. First question is this: we generally design it for NP complete problems, and those problems actually what happens is are unable to we don't have any algorithm to solve those problems like NP complete problems. That's why we need to do something for that those kind of problems. So one paradigm is approximation algorithm. There are other paradigms. One of another is fixed parameter tech table that is also there. So we generally focus on approximation algorithm. Here we design algorithm for a problem P. Okay, and suppose instance is I for P of the problem P. Okay, so our algorithm, suppose the algorithm I name it algo, and suppose the output returned by algorithm is, if we run for an instance I, this is the output returned by our algorithm. So our goal is like for all instances of P. This is our goal. Like we work for all instances. Not we cannot design for some instance and okay, this algorithm works for some instance. It does not work for another instance. So our goal is to design for all instances. So it's a general algorithm we have to design. So but the problem here is, and the moreover, this algorithm runs in polytime. Polytime in n. This by this I mean n square something in n log n anything. So this is polytime. So our algorithm should be a polytime algorithm. It should run for all instances. So we are satisfying two criteria for NP complete. But the third criteria is we need an optimal output that we cannot guarantee here. So our goal is to design algorithms such that we are very close to an optimal solution. For instance, suppose for example, I will talk about minimization problem. Similarly, we can design for maximization problem also. Suppose this for some instance I. Okay. So there is a solution. There is an optimal solution, and this is suppose this is a number line. Okay. So this is an optimal solution. Okay. So we know that we cannot reach, since it's a minimization problem. We cannot come here like this. We cannot have an algorithm which have solution here. So this part is infeasible because we cannot go beyond optimal. So any algorithm we design, our goal is to come as close to optimal. So what we do, like we suppose one has designed an algorithm, and his output is suppose somewhere like this range. So we, for some instance I, okay. So we check how far it is from the optimal. So this is basically our goal. So for and generally we use like for all instances we cannot verify. So generally we talk about we give us some bound which works for every instances. So yesterday we saw that for vertex cover problem, I gave a very relative simple algorithm where we say that no matter how you design algorithm, for algorithm what we have designed, okay, we'll start with maximal matching, then we'll take all vertices of maximal matching, and so we saw that that algorithm is a two factor away from optimal. So we can verify it also. Like suppose if we take complete bipartite graph, complete bipartite graph. Suppose this is complete bipartite graph. Okay. Let me draw. This is complete bipartite graph. Now, if I will ask, what is maximal matching here? Okay. So what will be the output? Suppose this is set L, set R, LR. So what is the maximum matching here? Can anyone say? Okay. So if we find maximum matching, we can have only 4 edges. Okay, these 4 edges. So these 4 edges are maximum matching, what do you say, maximum matching. So our algorithm was like, we'll select each node from the solution of maximum matching. So there are eight nodes we have selected. Okay, but one can see here for vertex cover, like optimal vertex cover. What will be the optimal vertex cover? The optimal vertex cover will be here. If we take these 4 nodes, these 4 nodes are enough to cover all the edges. So optimal here is 4 nodes. So we can generate some example where we can say that, okay, for that algorithm, this is a tight. Like for this, like we cannot improve that approximation factor with respect to that algorithm. So one can see here, this is a 2 factor away from the optimal. So by generating such example, we can ensure that, okay, if suppose that is the algorithm, then we cannot get better than 2 factor. Okay. Any question?
Sir, this just means that this algorithm cannot produce a better
this algorithm cannot produce better than 2 factor because we have some tight example. This is a tight example for this algorithm.
Okay. And sir, like the other example in greedy one, we did not prove that it was n log n, right? We only
okay, we did not prove it. See, that this algorithm, suppose I am naming it, this algorithm is algo 2, okay? Algo 2, we ensure that we saw that it's a 2 factor algorithm, and this is an example, okay? And the what you are saying, greedy one, algo greedy. I told you that that algorithm is a at least log n factor. We did not prove it. I gave you an example. Okay, I can write a proof also. See, so suppose I take n nodes here. 1, 2, same example, 6 nodes I will take. Okay. Then my goal is to first I will try to construct an example which ensures us via this example you will feel that okay, that greedy algorithm will not work. So suppose I take 6 nodes here. So I will take here 6 by 2 nodes. Again 6 by 3 nodes here. 6 by 4 nodes. Like okay, 6 by 5 or 6 by 6 nodes. Okay. So 6 by 2 nodes is here 3 nodes. Again here 2 nodes I will take. This is a way to construct an example which ensures you that algorithm will be log n factor. Okay. Just I am showing example. 6 by 4 nodes I will take. It will be around 1.5. So I will take a floor of that. This is actually floor I am taking. Okay. So now how I have constructed examples. Now see, for each node here I will have degree 2. If this is 2, then I will take a degree of this. Suppose 6 by I is there, then a degree of each node will be I here. Okay, so here degree will be I. So degree will be 2. Okay, here degree will be again 2. So I am connecting this way for each, means each node here in the set L will have one node to each group. This is suppose this is a group. Okay, 1 degree. Okay, so for here again 3. 1.
Hello, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, this thing you have showed yesterday, but how can you say that this is the least factor?
Yeah, I will show that also. See, so now if I will construct, so for here, suppose my algorithm will, what is the algorithm? What was the algorithm? Algorithm was like, okay, I will pick a node which has maximum degree. Okay, so my algorithm will start with this guy. You agree, na? Because it has 6 degree. Agree or not? You first think about this, whether we will pick this node or not.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So if I will pick that node, then tell me here, what will be the, just hold a minute. Yeah. So basically what happens, like we are picking node this way. Okay. So entire R will be picked. I will pick this one. I will remove all the edges. The degree of all nodes, these edges will be all decrease. Then all nodes here will have degree 5. Here, this node also will have degree 5. So this way, this node will have degree 6 again. So this way, I will pick entire R, but I will not pick this L. But you can see that L is one solution where via which I get 6 nodes. But here I am getting 8 nodes. So this proof it goes like this. See. So basically, what happens? Suppose this I am saying R, this entire set. So if I will say R is nothing but summation of Ri is the group I am saying this. I will explain. I equal to from 2 to n. Okay, this is R2, R3, R4, R5, R6. Okay, so this is the thing. This you agree? This relation you agree, na? This R is this thing. Okay, so we know that what will be the Ri kya hai? Like Ri will be n by I equal to 2 to n. Okay, agree? So this now if I will take the sum here, if I solve this one, so if you solve this one, this inequalities will, I am not going to show, this will be less something like this. R will be, okay, sorry, this R will be greater than n log n. You can solve this thing, see n by 2, n by 3, dot n by n. If I take n common, I'm just asymptotically I'm saying if I take n by 2, 1 by 2 to this 1 by n, so it's almost around like log n. So it will be around n log n. So this R. You agree this thing, na?
Yes, sir.
So this if R is n log n and our L, see L has only n elements. Okay. So if we see that, okay, suppose there could be another possible solution for this thing, like okay, better than n. If we verify here, if there is it is possible we can find something better. But at least if we pick L only, it has n elements. So we know that our optimal will always be less than equal to L. We agree this thing, na? Because L has n elements, optimal will also have either n or it's less than n. So what I'm saying that, so in any way, our algorithm is picking n log n elements. If we pick n L, then it will be n elements. So basically, what happens, like our algorithm always, this algorithm is a log n factor away, because I know that if we pick L only, L is n and R is n log n. N log n. So picking L is sufficient to show that okay, this algorithm is log n factor away. Optimal is obviously better than L. Okay, so this way we can show that this algorithm is a log n factor away. Agree or not? Whether you can see it or not. See this relation, you agree, na? Optimal will always be less than L.
Sir, this factor is only of this instance. Like, how can you say it is for the algorithm?
No, if I can prove if I can give an example where this algorithm gives me n log n factor away, log n factor, then this could be in one instance. Now I am talking about all instances. Suppose given scenario you have this instance for your problem. So for this instance, if it is log n, then it is I am talking about all instances. So our factor should work for all instances. Like in maximum matching case, like that algorithm 1, algorithm 2, that algorithm works for all instances. Give me any algorithm, give me any graph, I will design an algorithm. I will use that algorithm and returns you an output that ensures that it will be a two-factor algorithm always. So for one instance, if it is a log n factor, then we can say that for any instance, if it is better also, then we don't care. Like log n, if it is log n, it can be, then it is fine. Like for one instance, if it is log n, then we can say that it's log n factor away. We talk about for all instances. This is the main thing of this problem. Generally, people think about only one instance and they design an algorithm, but no, we have to think about for all instances. Okay.
But in other instance, can the factor not be worse than log n?
Yeah, factor can be worse than log n. I am showing that only for one instance, if it is log n, it can be worse than log n. This is actually a lower bound on the factor. Okay.
Okay.
This is a lower bound on the factor. For another instance, it may be worse. I am showing that if we run this algorithm will give me worse than log n factor. Okay. So greedy algorithm, it will not work. It will not work much. It will give us log n factor. So we saw that yesterday that greedy algorithm will at least give me log n factor. Okay. Then once we show algorithm, what we said, maximum matching algorithm, that gives a two factor. So what, like we are coming as close as to 1. Our goal is to come to as close to 1. Okay, but this is not possible. And suppose in many cases, you can design algorithm, okay, for suppose given instance this, suppose simple instance I am taking. For this, you can design an optimal algorithm. So you cannot say, okay, yeah, for this algorithm, I got a optimal algorithm, so greedy algorithm, like my algorithm will work for all instances. No. We cannot say about this thing. So we have to think about general algorithm. And then we have to argue whether it is two-factor or log n factor, okay? So our ultimate goal is to come as close to one factor, but it is not possible, okay? Unless P equal to NP. So one more thing I will add up here only. See, so what we have from log n to 2 we came. Now our goal is to come to 1. So people are working out. I tell you that people are working to come to close to 1. Still, this is an open problem for vertex cover. So simple problem, but people are unable to come better than 2. People are like trying to design algorithm which will give them better than 2. So one result they gave this in last decade, I guess 90s, 1.36 factor. This is a magical number. Like where did they get it from? So such is what they told. Like, okay, if someone gave me an algorithm which gives 1.36 factor for all instance, if they can guarantee 1.36 factor, then what people have shown that, okay, if someone give me this thing, then I can solve P equal to NP. I can answer this question, P equal to NP. So such results are called inapproximability results. What does it mean? Okay, if you can, like they gave, okay, no matter like which algorithm you design, if it is better than 1.36, that means P equal to NP. So this result they prove by using this hypothesis. Unless P equal to NP, no one can design. I'm just writing in naive way. No one can design an algorithm which gives better than 1.36 factor. Okay, so this is another domain, another area where people work, like proving inapproximability. So I will just give you a hint, like what I'm like for my problem, what I'm doing, like it's very similar kind of thing. So one result we got like one paper got they proved that 8 factor is a good algorithm. Then I reduced it to 4 factor. Now I'm trying to show that no one can do better than 4 factor. That means like, okay, then people will not try beyond this 4 factor. Okay, so this is also a way to stop the work in this area for a problem. Suppose for one problem like k-center problem, there is a problem which is k-center. People have proved for 2 factor is, they gave a 2 factor algorithm, and they also proved that we cannot do better than 2 factor. So these things are there, like these are called inapproximability result. Okay. Any doubt about inapproximability? You can ask me a question. Inapproximability will come in many places in your presentation, because these things people work in this area also. Like, okay, they try to prove something which ensure that we cannot do better than this. So there is still a window 2 to 1.36. So one of you can try to achieve this thing. How we can reduce from 2 to 1.36 if it is possible, but you cannot go beyond this. So this is an open question till now. So this is all about vertex cover. So similarly, for another problem, we work like this. Suppose yesterday I saw that set cover. Set cover, I will explain the greedy algorithm what you suggested. Okay, we'll pick a set of elements which has maximum number of elements. So I told you that algorithm is a log n factor. Okay. So now question arises: can we do better than log n factor? See, log n is not a constant factor. It depends on the input side. So it's not a good factor algorithm. So can we do better than this log n? Something like this questions arise generally. So people have proved that you cannot do better than log n. So log n is the best thing we can do in set cover. If we can prove this, because again they have shown an inapproximability result. You cannot do better than log n. So the kind of results are called inapproximability result. These are approximation factor. These are inapproximability. So for showing this thing, we will use reduction. What you have studied for NP-hard problem. Now generally we reduce from A to B. A is NP-hard. Then we say that B is also NP-hard problem. Same kind of reduction we show here. But here what we do, we have to show both way. There is a technique. There are many techniques, but this is also one we have to show such things. Then only we can say that okay, then factor is ensured. So this is another domain where we will not discuss this, how to do this thing, but okay. So set cover I will discuss obviously how we get log and factor. Okay, now okay. So set cover problem. You people, I guess, like you people will remember the definition of the problem. Okay, okay. Before going to set cover, so any doubt in at least understanding what is linear proximity? I am talking about just this term, whether people are like people get the idea like what is linear proximity or not. Like what is linear proximity? If you have any question, then please ask about linear proximity. No. Okay. So this statement, what I wrote now, this is a very nice statement. Like people don't write like in this way; they write it more formally. So, but this is the idea, or this is the intuition, like what they want to say. Unless P is not equal to NP, no one can solve this problem better than 1.36 expected. Okay, you will get these lemmas in the standard algorithm book. So set cover, we are given some U element set E1, E2, E3, En, and we are given some set S1, S2, Sn. Okay, our goal is to find minimum number of sets such that all elements are covered. By this I mean I need to find some subset of this big set, like family of set, such that union of I in Si is U. Our goal is to find minimum cardinality of this one. So is this problem clear? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
So our goal is to find minimum number of set. So what you like what the greedy algorithm we suggested yesterday?
We'll start with the set which is having maximum number of elements not selected so far.
Maximum number of elements, then we'll pick that elements in that we will pick that set and we'll delete those elements which are in this set from other set, and then we will continue till we get a till all elements are covered or not covered. So I told you that this is a a log and factor algorithm. So we have to prove it. Like so, this proof very not that difficult. It's very simple proof, but try to get the idea. Like only one principle is used here. Pigeonhole principle. I guess this this pigeonhole principle. Like okay, suppose let suppose I will write I will denote n0. N0 is number of elements in U. This is like number of elements after this 0 means after iteration 0. There are n elements. So basically this n0 is nothing but total n elements are there. Similarly, I denotes like number of elements with uncovered after iteration I. So ni means number of elements uncovered after iteration I. Okay, and suppose this is the optimal. There will be some optimal solution. So optimal will have some sets of elements, some sets. Okay, so we denote it by opt. Okay. Now let me write a claim here. So I'm saying like ni plus. Now we have to relate this thing. Like okay, if I am picking some set of some elements in iteration I, so how many elements will be left? Like after I, if in the suppose I took a set of elements in iteration 1, I took a set which has maximum elements. So I have to see that okay, now let's see how many elements are there which are uncovered now. So this, if we can relate these two things after iteration I, how many elements are there in iteration I plus 1? If we can do this thing, then we can somehow we can argue about the thing like, okay, then we can relate between two iterations. We have to show relation between two iterations, like what are the number of elements left. So my claim is that somehow we have to relate ni plus 1 and ni. Ni is the element covered in, like after I iteration, ni elements were left, and after I plus 1 element iteration, ni plus 1 elements left. So we have to show some relation between these two. So I am saying that this is nothing but 1. This is 1. Okay, 1 minus opt. So now question is like, we don't know what is opt. So how you are relating this I and I plus 1 with respect to opt? Yeah, we don't know opt, but we know that one thing, this opt will cover all elements of U. That we know. You agree?
Yes.
Yes, no? So okay. So suppose after ni, suppose this is the ni set, like elements which are there after iteration I, which are uncovered. So after picking ni, obviously there will be some less number of elements which are left. So we have to, this ni plus 1 will basically will be, we have to get this ni is the set of elements which are left after iteration I. So if we take a set in the iteration I, so there will be less, we have to subtract some number of elements from this ni. Then only we can relate with this ni plus 1. Okay. So now this, how many numbers will be there left? So see, since opt can cover all elements of U, then opt will also cover all the elements of which are covered by ni.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so I'm saying like, see, so now just hold a minute. So after ni, some there will set of elements will be there. Okay. So sorry, my mistake. So ni is the set of elements which are uncovered. These are uncovered elements. Okay, these are uncovered elements. So our opt will cover this ni also. So by now now we will apply this pigeonhole principle. See, if opt can cover this entire elements of ni, so there will be one set, at least one set, which covers, what do you say, ni by opt elements. So ni is the set of elements which are uncovered, and we know that opt will cover entire U. Then opt will cover obviously ni also. So what I'm saying, like ni, that then there will be a set which will cover, because by pigeonhole principle we can apply. See, pigeonhole principle, I guess everyone knows that. Nah? So by, if there will be some set which will cover ni by opt elements. Okay. So and our algorithm is picking maximum set. Like in greedy, like what was the greedy choice? Our algorithm will pick a set which has maximum number of elements. So there is a set which has this much element, ni by opt elements. So my algorithm will always pick something which has some set which has more than these elements. So in ni plus 1, this your ni plus 1 will always be, ni is the number of elements covered by ni by opt. Please tell me if you don't get this thing. I will again try to explain it. Maybe I don't explain properly. How many like you can see this relationship holds or not?
Sir, could you tell
Sir,
that
like,
ni by opt again?
Pardon?
Could you tell that ni by opt elements again? How you use pigeonhole?
See, I'm saying there are ni elements are left in the iteration after iteration I. there are ni elements are left. Okay, I'm saying that now my there will be an, we know the opt is optimal set, so opt will also cover this ni. You agree?
Yes, sir.
So I am saying there will be a set. There will be a set, remaining set. I'm saying which covers at least ni by opt elements.
Sir, then the greedy should be different. Like when you are considering it out of remaining sets, if there are maximum number of elements in a set, you are taking that. So, but in a maximum number of elements set, it might not even cover at least one element that is uncovered. Like for example, 1, 2, 3, 4 are already covered, and next guess set is that set, so it will not cover that.
No, yes. What you're saying, like, no, I am talking about ni are those which are not covered yet, and now whichever sets we have currently in our hand, they will obviously cover these elements which are not covered yet. Do you agree this thing or not? Whichever the sets remaining now after iteration I, those sets.
So in greedy, we are taking the set which has the most number of uncovered elements.
Yeah. Because you have
like
to
initially greedy was defined.
No. Greedy was that we are covering. No, greedy was like this thing, na. See, we are picking set which has maximum uncovered element. Like, see, basically what happened. Like, see, if I will pick a set, suppose this is a maximum element, I will go with your argument, maximum elements. Then after picking this set, suppose there were E1, E2, E3, E4, E5. Then suppose another set has these three: E4, E3, E4, E5, E6, E7. Here, suppose there are more elements. Suppose. So I pick this set. So from this, in next iteration, if I go, then obviously these elements I have to remove from this set. So the remaining will be always be uncovered element only. In next iteration, if I from this iteration 1 to, if I will go to iteration 2, in iteration 2, there in this set there will be two elements, E6 and E7. So basically, in each iteration, I am trying to cover. We have to update the, what you say, after each iteration in greedy stage, we have to update all the sets also. Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so you got the thing, like in iteration I found some elements from some set, then I chose that set based on the greedy choice, whether okay, this number of elements are there left, it has maximum number of elements, I choose it. Accordingly, I will update other set also, na. I will have to update other sets, like okay, these elements are not covered there. You check this algorithm with this very simple. So this is by basically pigeonhole principle. Okay, you check it. It's a very simple algorithm. I will just explain because I don't have that much time. Like I have to explain one more thing. So just you see this relation with this algorithm, and it's very simple. So I'm saying that okay, this will hold. So basically ni plus 1. This is what I'm saying. Like, okay, after iteration I, from if I will select a set C, after iteration I am saying that there are ni elements were there. Now I will pick a set here which has maximum number of uncovered elements. So now what happens? In that case, I know that there will be a set which has this much elements. So obviously I will pick a set which has maximum elements. Then that means like ni number of elements with left after I plus 1 for I plus 1 will be this thing. So if we so my claim is like, see, now my second claim, I am saying that okay, whatever algorithm I am what I got, the value for this algorithm will be opt log n. So we have to prove this. So suppose for any t iteration, I am saying after t iteration, by this claim, if I go, nt is n e minus 1 minus, sorry, 1 by opt. So if we follow this thing, then it will things will be like n0 1 minus 1 by opt. So 1 minus opt will come t times. So this relation will hold. Nt, this n0 is the set of elements in the beginning, like after 0. So you people, I know this relation, you know this 1 minus x is this is a very important inequalities we use in theoretical computer science. I can say this is the most used inequality. So now we'll use this inequality here. So it will be nt will be, sorry, this will be less than, okay? No, it will be less than equal to only. Less than equal to. Okay. So nt will be, just hold a second. Yeah. So if we apply this thing, then nt will be your n0. Sorry, n0 is nothing but n. We can write this n like number of elements total, e minus t by pt. Okay. Now this is there. Now, if what we can see that, okay, if after iteration t, if there is no element left, suppose if I can prove this thing, nt by 1, nt is 1, less than 1. Okay, that means okay, if I can show that number of elements left after iteration t is less than 1, then that means like, okay, there is no elements remaining. So when, for what value of t, can we show that here, what value of t can we show that, okay, the nt will be less than 1. So if we put t here is like opt into log n into n. If we replace t with opt by log n into n, so our then this nt will be n e minus opt, sorry, log n opt by opt. If get cancelled, so this will be your nothing but, if you solve it, it will be 1. So after t iteration, the number of elements left is less than 1. So that means like, if we pick t iteration, means like in each iteration we are picking one element, one set. That means we are picking t sets. After t sets, number of elements left will be less than 1. So basically t will be the number of sets returned by our algorithm, and this is possible only when if t is opt by log n by n. So basically if t equal to this, then t, so this shows that, okay, in each iteration, if I am picking one set, then we have to pick this much number of sets to ensure that this algorithm cover all elements. So I'm just this is a rough, this is the way to design. I'm just like, I show you the idea, you please check it how this is very simple algorithm. So this is the way we design, this is the way we analyze the algorithm. So set cover has a log n approximation. This is the proof. There are other way via which we can ensure. So I guess the idea is clear. Like, okay, like what I am trying to show is like relation between ni plus 1 and ni. First you have to show this relation. Check out this relation from in any text you will get. And then from there we have to show that after iteration t, after iteration, some iteration suppose t, no elements are left. So we have to argue what is the value of t. So I showed that t will be opt by log n by n. Okay. So you got the flavor at least now. What is how we design for set cover?
Sir,
Yeah.
Again, this log n bound is just for the greedy approximation of set cover.
Yeah. For this algorithm, I am talking about our algorithm, what we have discussed. Only for that algorithm, not for other algorithm.
Yes, sir.
So now suppose a person designed another algorithm, suppose algo 2. I don't know how he has designed. Suppose this algo 2 he has designed. So what like previously I told you, we cannot do better than log n. Okay, for set cover. this I told you that this is the statement. So algo 2 you have designed, you have told this is the best algorithm in the market. So we know that you cannot do better than log n. So you have to show that, okay, let's see whether I can get log n or not. So your goal will be to reach log n. But since you cannot do better than log n, so you have to argue to whether it's log n or not for some other algorithm. So in there is a one way like ILP. I guess you know linear programming. So from there also we can design an algorithm. That algorithm is also a log n factor. So for set cover, as far as I know, one algorithm we discussed greedy. Another is ILP, where we round it up and solve it. Another is primal dual. These things are there. If you study linear programming, then they are a scheme. So, and there are other ways also. People have tried to tackle this problem with many approach, but they fail. Fail means like they cannot do better than log n. This all algorithm leads to log n factor. So set cover is a problem where you cannot do better than log n till now. Okay. So for I will explain you vertex cover just in. I will give another algorithm for vertex cover based on linear programming. Okay, this will help you to understand how linear programming works. Suppose the same example I will take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Are you people comfortable with linear programming? I guess you people have done some course in linear programming.
It is running right now, sir.
Yeah. Pardon?
It is this semester, like right now.
Yeah. So you know how to this very simple like okay, leave the. I will explain the concept what is going on. So suppose our goal is to cover all the edges. You know that in vertex cover. This we know. So now what I will do for each node out here, I will assign a variable. Suppose x1, x2, x3, x4, x5. Okay. So 5 variables are there. So take this edge e1, e2, e3, e4, e5. Okay. I am saying that for e1, what are the x1 and x2 are the two variables. So x1 plus x2 is there. I will say why I am writing x1. So I am saying this should be between 0. Either it is 0 or it is 1. Variable can be 0 or 1. Okay. So I'm saying like x1 plus x2, if it is, I don't know whether if you're comfortable in linear programming or not. Let me explain this. X1 plus x2 should be greater than equal to 1. I'm saying why. So x2 plus x3 for h2, x2 plus x4. So for all ages, we will write this inequality. Okay. And our goal is to find, we have to minimize x1, x2, x3, x4, x5. And here each xi is 0, 1. So see this condition and inequality. I guess this is nothing but a simple algebra. See, our goal is to find x1, x2 values, xi values, and these values are between, are either 0 or 1. We have to pick these values in such a way that these all inequalities for all edges should be satisfied. Okay, and at the same time we want to minimize this thing also. So there are 3 things are going out here. Like each value should be between 0 and 1, and we have to satisfy this inequality. And at the same time we have to find minimum value of xi, this summation. So this I am just saying this is a simple inequality. This is simple ILP for vertex cover. So why I am showing this thing? If you can study this thing also, this algorithm. If we solve this, if we approach vertex cover via this way also, no, this algorithm is also a 2-factor algorithm. I don't have time to explain it. Otherwise, I could have explained it. 2-factor algorithm. So what I'm saying, like, people are trying to solve this problem via different approaches, but they are getting for vertex cover, they cannot do better than 2-factor. So things are like that. Like you will find in your text like different approaches. All will lead to 2-factor for vertex cover. For set cover, log n factor. So this is all about designing an algorithm like factors, like how we can get factors from there. Similarly, I discussed what is unapproximability. I did not go into much detail what is unapproximability, but there is a concept in So please ask question till now, okay? Then, because I am going to explain one simple concept. This is called betas. This will be your last thing. What is F betas? This is very important. This I will explain the definition of this problem because these things. So till now, please ask me one question like.
Sir, for the linear programming problem you have defined,
Yeah.
it exactly gives the result, no sir? Like,
Yeah, see, but this is actually, see, this 0, 1 is there, no? So this is integer. See, what is linear programming? Nah, see, this is, we can solve linear program, okay? Exactly. In polytime. So then you feel, okay, then to, yeah, we can solve this, then to we'll get an optimal solution. Yes, true. But our constraint here, this xi belongs to 0, 1, made this linear programming into integer linear programming, where we need only integral solution, not a real solution. So we have to relax this constraint. So we do this way. Okay, we'll relax this constraint from here to here, then this become a linear programming. So relaxing this constraint made the problem easy. Easy in sense, now I can target a real value also. Okay. So I guess you people have studied this thing now. Suppose if we have a linear linear constraints are there. So if we draw its structure, it will be a convex body. This thing you have studied, na?
yes sir.
Given a linear constant, if we plot it in our bounds of this one and two variable, x1, x2 is there, then it will form a, basically see what happens, like suppose x1 and x2 are two variables, then there will be some constraints. Okay, if we plot this constraint, this will be all constraint will be a straight line. So its intersection of a straight line will form a convex body. So our feasible region will be this thing. Okay, this thing. Suppose I am talking about x1, x2 greater than 0. So this will be our convex feasible body. So in this feasible body, our LP can solve it. Sorry, our LP algorithm like simplex better than the algorithm better than simplex. They can solve it because they traverse here in search of real value or integral value. But what happens in ILP? Our solution will be in the integral point. Okay, so it is very difficult to find out work design algorithm where we target only integral value. Okay, so this is a challenge. I guess that's why we cannot solve it exactly, because LP we can solve it exactly, ILP we cannot solve it exactly. And most of your NP-hard problem, if we design their linear program, it turns into an ILP because we need either this vertex. We need either this vertex fully, or we don't need, like either we need or we don't need in our cover. We don't need it partially. That's why if we need it either in our solution or not, that's why I put 0 or 1. 0 means that point is not in our solution, and 1 it is means in our solution. So this is the challenge like for ILP. So this is what I want to add it here. LP, I guess some of you have to give a presentation on this LP also. ILP. LP solvable. ILP solvable is like in polytime, I'm saying. Okay, this does not. Okay, and most of your NP complete problems, whenever we try to construct it, then this NP complete problem will be an ILP. So that's why we cannot solve in polytime. Okay, and take your minimum spanning tree. Then if we do this thing, so their LP will be, that will be also ILP, but that has some other features, like maybe you will study total unimodular, something is there in future. So because of that property, we can solve it. So I'm not going that detail linear programming details. So this is just an idea. Please ask a question for this, because I have like 10 minutes with me. So I will explain one more concept. See, I got 2 classes to do this thing for this thing, so I cannot complete everything in 2 classes, like every concept. So, but still, I'm trying my best. Okay. Any question? No. Okay. Let me explain one more concept, PITAS. Now, what is PITAS? This is also an algorithm. This is an approximation scheme. Like now, I will ask you one question. Suppose, like you can say, like okay, you design an algorithm for vertex cover which gives me 2 factor. Yes. So why I don't like such algorithm? If you say okay, please arrange design some algorithm which can give me 1.5 factor also. I don't worry. Like let me, like I need something. Suppose user comes to you and asks you, no matter how much time it requires to solve you, but I need something better, like not 2 factor, 3 factor. I need. Suppose some people come and ask you like, okay, I need 3 factor, 5 factor, 7 factor. They can demand you like, okay, based on their problem. So such things we can design some algorithms for some particular, not for all problems, for some particular problems. Suppose I will name it first, particular problems. I will give you example also. Knapsack, because 0-1 knapsack is an NP complete problem, because you know that the time complexity is something, or pseudo polynomials. I guess you people have studied this thing in your undergrad, like this algorithm course. Pseudo polynomial. For this problem, someone if comes and asks you, Bhaiya, for this problem I need to design algorithm. So I tell, okay, I will design your algorithm. I can ask, I have, suppose if I will ask you, if I will give you a freedom, okay, you can design an algorithm that gives me a factor, like any factor away from this optimal solution. So such things are there. Like there is a knob, like suppose I will say you, like you see, so algorithm is A. We know that our output is A. I know that opt is there. So I'm saying my algorithm will give you 1 plus epsilon. This epsilon is greater than 0. Okay. This epsilon is provided from your input from the user. User will give you, okay, I need something like 3 factor. Okay. Then epsilon will be 2. Okay. So I'm saying like, can I design an algorithm such a way that it will help, it will be like, it will have these features, like, okay, no matter, so sorry, okay, so can I design an algorithm such that it will give us different factors for, as per the user will ask me this thing. Okay, so such types of algorithms are not possible for all the problems. Since, see, we have seen for set cover we cannot get better than log n, so forget about the constant and forget about this thing, PITAS. So PITAS is actually scheme. This is not an algorithm, this is scheme. Here P task. No, this S stands for scheme. Scheme means like there will be many algorithms. Like this is scheme. Like, okay, scheme means like, okay, what there is like, so obviously one can see that, okay, then to like this is a very good thing. Like, okay, I can get any factor. So any factor, then you have to pay price for that. That price is nothing but this will comes in terms of time. So you have to invest much time there. So we saw that this polynomial thing, like previously we saw that this thing polytime in n. Now since we are incorporating this epsilon in our factor epsilon thing, so our time complexity will change. Time complexity will depend on epsilon also. So if such type of time complexity will come in the market so if you decrease this epsilon, that means you are very close to the optimal solution. But what happens? But you are investing much time. So time and factor, they have trade-off. Okay. So if you have much time, then I can give you a better factor. Okay. If you don't want to invest much time, then I will give you a poor factor. So if we can establish such relation for if we can design such algorithm, then we say that, okay, this is called PITAS. We say that this algorithm admits a PITAS. This is the technical writing. This algorithm admits a p-task. Okay, that means what? Okay, I have designed such an algorithm which admits a p-task. Means what? This means like, okay, if there is a relation trade-off between time and the factor. If I can establish such relationship, and I will say you that this is not easy to design because it involves more challenge. And one more thing, you cannot design a p-task for every problem. There are very few select set of problems for which we can design a p-task. Okay, so for vertex cover we cannot design a p-task because why we cannot design a p-task? Because we know that we cannot go beyond 1.36. So suppose if someone comes and asks you epsilon is I told you that epsilon is greater than 0. So if suppose someone comes and asks us like, okay, for epsilon 3.35, can you design an algorithm? Since we know that we cannot go beyond 1.36, so there is no chance of designing a p-task for vertex cover. So for some problems, it is not possible to design a p-task. But there are few problems for which we can design p-task, f-p-task. F-p-task is what? This is p-task. What is fully polynomial f-p-task? Same concept like p-task, but here time complexity will depend on epsilon also, but epsilon will not be in the exponential. It will be somewhere in polynomial time. Like these things are possible, but not in the exponential. Like here, it is an exponential, na? So it will not be in exponential now. So this is fully per p-task. So knapsack. For knapsack, there is an algorithm which admits a p-task, f-p-task. There is a problem called partition. This is available in this Corman book. This admits a p-task. So please look at these things also, like what is f-p-task and p-task. These are very important concepts. Okay. Please ask question related to p-task and f-p-task, because this is I explained it, try to explain it in 5 minutes. Not possible, but still you can ask me this question. Hello.
No doubt, sir.
So got the idea now. There is a trade-off between time and complexity. But again, this trade-off we cannot maintain for we cannot design for all the problems. There are few set of problems. Please do study this knapsack and partition. If you are not like you did not get the, like, if you try to study this p-task, if it is there, like something is there, like not like did not get the idea about this thing, then please ask me in chat, or maybe you can mail me. Then we can schedule a meeting for this thing also, p-task and f-p-task, because these are the mostly the like this will be like, if we understand this thing, then I guess overview, if you see that, then for algorithm approximation is more than enough for you to design, for you prepare for like this presentation. So just recap, I will say we have studied how to design a factor. Then we get the idea what is p-task and f-p-task, just idea. And in the same way, we just got the idea what is inapproximability. So I will say these you can study some problem where we can you to get the idea of inapproximability, how people are designing, how people are showing that we cannot do better than inapproximability. The vertex cover will be difficult because vertex cover has a unique game conjecture concept is there, so this is will be difficult for you now. So inapproximability, please try to study for some simple problem. I will say K-center is a problem, very simple problem. For that you can study this. Even for what you say, graph coloring also, I guess that has simple inapproximability is there. So please try to study. And for p-task, f-p-task, try to study knapsack and partitioning. And for factor, I discuss vertex cover, set cover. You can study job scheduling, and there are many problems. K-center is also there. So for these things, these three things are there, like in approximation domain, how to design algorithm which has good factor, how to design algorithm which has p-task and f-p-task, and how we can prove inapproximability. Okay, so from tomorrow, sir will take class, na? Hello?
He told only you will take this.
He told to take me 2 classes. Okay, anyway, I will ask sir. Please feel free to ask me question in mail or chat. Okay, because in 2 classes I tried to explain this a lot of concept. Okay, and if you want to, I will suggest some book also. One book by, I will write the author name, Bazirani. This is the popular book, and another by Shomois and Williams. Okay, and title will be approx algorithm, and another is complexity and approximation by OCLO. Maybe OCLO. This book is like it covers all the concept of theoretical like algorithm and approximation. But this book people prefers this to take classes. These 2 books. Okay, you can try these books. This book if you study now. This book has first chapter dedicated to set cover, fully dedicated to set cover. So for set cover they have given 5-6 algorithms. All will give you log and factor. They have shown this thing. And Bazirani book first chapter dedicated to vertex cover, and second chapter dedicated to set cover. Okay, so you can you can check this book also. Okay then. Okay, then I'm stopping the presentation.